Hello everybody, welcome to our Saturday video, and in this video I thought I could be thrifty and go ahead and make my own rags that I could use instead of kitchen roll, because it's one of those things that I use every once in a while. I don't use a lot of kitchen roll, but I thought, you know what, I could save myself some money per year by just not using that anymore and instead cutting up some old shirts that have like a bit of a rag-like texture, like not the thin one that I'm currently pulling up to show you. Like some of these cloth ones or cotton ones actually are really thin and kind of not absorbent, not too well anyway. I'm not going to use those, so I'm currently just sifting through all the clothes you see on the table to see which ones would or wouldn't work, and eventually I'm going to end up cutting a few of them into little rectangles. So that's just one of those things that I wanted to do to try and save a little bit of money, because of course we do have a bit of an increase in prices of all sorts of things. So I'm probably also going to look at other things that I could maybe cut out or do differently. Probably like many of you, I grew up in an era where everything was bought new, and to some degree that still is the case, I think, for a lot of people. But I think my mom used to make a couple of shirts for us. At least for me, she made a couple of shirts, but only because she wanted to, because she liked doing that sort of thing. But we didn't really need to do that. We didn't really need to be thrifty. And I lived like that for a while by myself as well. But nowadays I'm thinking, you know what, if I don't have to spend the money, why would I? And I could just go and maybe spend a little bit of money to buy a bunch of ready-made rags in the store. But it's also a fun project for me to try and turn old shirts into cloths that I can use and reuse. And also that sewing machine you see over there, I've had it for a couple of years and I actually haven't used it in ages because I wasn't sure how to use it. It's one of those things that I bought thinking someday I'll probably want to use one of these and it might be handy to have one. So I bought this really cheap one. I think it's Nuetta or something, the brand. I've never heard of it, but it's really cheap and it's also very simple. It's not the best quality. Also, it got dark outside, as you can see. In the meantime, I started late in the afternoon, so the sun was already kind of fading, even though the camera wasn't really showing that. But after a while, it got a little bit too dark, so I had to turn the lights on, and now everything is yellow. Anyway, so I got this really cheap sewing machine that I wanted to eventually start using. It sat on a little sewing table in the attic for a while. Now, if something is in the attic, that means I'm not really using it every day. That is why it is currently on the kitchen table, because I've been watching a bunch of videos on sewing. As you can see, I'm currently trying to be very professional with my chalk and my measuring tape and all that sort of thing. So it's not really going to work out though, because this is a very stretchy fabric. And eventually I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to stop pretending that this is working, because I already figured out that it wasn't really working. But I'm still going to persist in measuring for a few more seconds, so we'll wait. Anyway, so once I'm done doing this, I'm going to cut it into some rectangles, and then I'm going to put them together by the right side so that the camo side over there is facing each other. And that is because I want the rags to have that print on both sides. I could do one side yellow, one side camo, like, because the inside of this sweater is also fairly good texture for rags, but I think I might turn a few of them over. But the first ones that I'm gonna make are just the camo sides out on both sides. Here I'm trying to fold everything. You may have noticed that I'm using clips for keeping it together in certain clips of the video as well. That's because I have pins, but I really don't like trying to put the pins in a couple of different sheets of fabric. It's really annoying to me to have to do that. It's also annoying when I'm trying to sew them together and I have to pull the pins out and maybe accidentally grab the sharp end of the pin. So what I did was I got a bunch of hair clips from a local drugstore, and some of them are the flat metal ones that you saw, and the others are the ones that you have to bend, like for kids and stuff like that. I figured if I get a bunch of those, just try them out, see which ones work. And so far the metal ones worked out best, so I'll probably go and get a couple more of those so I have a couple extra just in case. I think I have 12 right now, but larger projects, that's going to be too little. Anyway, so here you see me putting them together like I said I would, and putting some clips on it to make sure that things don't shift when I'm trying to put stuff under the sewing machine. And I've got a little section over here on the end where I want to show you that that section over there, right there, is not going to be sewn initially, because I need to be able to turn it inside out, which is what that little gesture was that I just did. one-handed inside-out gesture. So here I am, I'm putting it on the sewing machine, but first I'm showing you that I'm putting the short side on top so I can see exactly where my seams need to be inside of, or where the limit is, so to speak. And I'm not actually using any type of measuring tool or whatever after that either. I'm just using the foot of the sewing machine to guide it somewhat straight, which works fairly well. So I'm able to do that pretty quickly. And here we go. I'm just showing you that it is now sewn up except for that one spot, or actually I think I picked a different spot. Right, it's on the long end now. First I'm showing you the actual seams here, which is very easy to see, the white on the yellow background, and now I'm going to turn it inside out like I said I would. And then you'll see the stage 1 of the rag, so to speak. Here it is. Now the part that was loose is still open, of course, so that still needs to be sewn. So I'm tucking that in right now to try and make it even with the rest of the fold, so to speak, the rest of the seams. And it's going to go back under the sewing machine because I'm going to put it together. I'm also going to put an X down the middle, as you can see, so that the cloth does not move around, because it is 2 loose sheets, of course, while you're trying to polish stuff off a table, that it doesn't move around too much. And that's kind of like a little bit of quilting. That just makes it easier to clean stuff. So I'm done right now in this video, so I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in another video. In any case, make sure to stay healthy, stay safe, and bye-bye for now.